Let's get right to it. We're talking about Alabama workers' comp, and more specifically, how a fundamental misunderstanding of one rule, subrogation, is costing employers real money. This isn't just theory. This is a direct hit to your bottom line. So let me ask you this directly. Is your agency leaving money on the table? I mean, if your employee gets hurt because somebody else was negligent and you're not getting paid back for that claim, well, the answer is a definite yes. We're going to fix that right now. I call this the Alabama Subrogation trap, and it's exactly what it sounds like. It's a bunch of common, really costly mistakes that employers and, you know what, even some insurance carriers fall right into. And why? Because they're working from an old, outdated playbook. They get caught, and it costs them dearly, but you won't. Okay, let's be absolutely crystal clear on what subrogation actually is. Forget the fancy legal jargon. It's your right to get paid back, period. If some third party, not you, not your employee, causes an injury, the law says you have the right to get reimbursed for the benefits you paid out. It is that straightforward. Now, this isn't the Wild West. There's a rule book. And in Alabama, that rule book is Statute 25-5-11. This one law dictates the entire process, the rights, the timelines, the obligations for everybody involved. These are the rules of the road. You have to know them. And that brings us to the real heart of the problem, right? The rules of the game have changed, but way too many people are still playing by an old, dusty playbook. And that outdated strategy, well, it's costing them money every single day. So what can you actually get back? What costs are on the table? This is where that old playbook really leads people astray. If you've ever been told your recovery is limited, you need to listen closely. Look, way back before 1992, it was true. You could only recover what they called compensation, which basically just meant lost wages. All the big ticket items, the hospital bills, the surgeon's fees, that was your problem. But the law changed. Today, you are entitled to recover all of it, lost wages and every penny of medical expenses. So let me make this perfectly clear. If a carrier, an adjuster, literally anyone tells you that you can't get your medical costs back on an Alabama claim, they are operating on decades-old information. They are flat out wrong, and you have every right to challenge them on it. All right, now the law has another really powerful part that most people just completely overlook. Think of it as your second chance to get your money back, even if the injured employee decides not to do anything. Just look at this timeline. So an injury happens, the employee has a 2-year window to sue the person who caused it. But what if they don't? Standard industry inertia just kicks in, and most people just write it off as a loss. But the law gives you, the employer or the carrier, an additional 6-month exclusive window to file that lawsuit yourself. And we are not talking about pocket change here. Imagine you've paid out $100,000 in benefits on a claim. Those 2 years go by, the employee does nothing. Are you just going to let that $100,000 vanish into thin air? Or are you going to use your 6-month window to go get it back? This second chance is a critical tool that is just far too often ignored. Okay, I know what you're thinking. This sounds great, but let's get practical, because the process has complexities. There are a few catches you absolutely must plan for. This is what I call the system's mandatory complexity. The first one is the attorney's fee. It's simple. If the employee's lawyer goes out and gets a recovery that pays you back, you have to chip in for their fee. The best way to think about it is like a success tax. It's just the cost of getting your money back without having to pay for the whole lawsuit yourself. So there are 3 key realities you have to deal with here. First, you have to account for that success fee. Second, you need to understand that you can't get what isn't there. If the guy who caused the accident only has $25,000 in insurance, well, that's all you're going to get. And third, just forget about suing a coworker. The bar for that is willful misconduct, which is almost impossible to prove. Your focus has to be on outside third parties. Now, let's talk about the real payoff, because this isn't just about getting a recovery check in the mail. This whole process directly impacts your single biggest insurance cost driver, your premium. And this right here is the million-dollar question for any employer, right? A claim hits your record, it drives up your costs for years. Does subrogation actually fix that? Does it lower your experience mod? The answer is an absolute, unqualified 100% yes. This is the entire point of professional stewardship over your claims. So what is the experience mod anyway? The easiest way to think about it is as your company's insurance credit score. Just like with your personal credit, a lower score is better.
A lower score means a lower premium. It's a direct reflection of your claims history, and subrogation is how you clean it up.
And here's exactly how that works, step by step. The carrier gets the check. They have to report that recovery to the rating bureau, like NCCI. That report officially reduces the total cost of the claim on your record. And when your claim costs go down, your experience mod goes down, which directly, dollar for dollar, lowers your premium. This is such a crucial point. Once a claim hits your record, it's there. It's like a dent in a car. Subrogation is the only tool you have to go back and undo that dent, to actively reduce its financial impact. It is a powerful, powerful way to clean up your loss history. Okay, we've talked about the trap, we've walked through the rules, and we've seen the payoff. But all this information is totally useless without action. So now it's time to take control of your claims. It's your move. Here is your action plan starting today. First, audit all of your open claims. Look for any third-party fault. Second, if you have a carrier still quoting those pre-1992 rules, challenge them. Third, make sure your carrier is intervening in lawsuits to protect your rights. And last but not least, follow up. You have to verify that the recovery was actually reported to the Bureau so you get the credit on your mod. You have to stop letting outdated information and simple inertia dictate your costs. The rules are clear, the financial stakes are high. It's time to master the rules and take control.